show.
This is the Blairing Out with Eric Blair show. We're backstage at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery for the 7th annual Johnny Ramone tribute, and I'm here with Duff McKagan. You know him from Guns N' Roses and Velvet Revolver, and also you have your new project that you're doing. It's not new, but you're out there kicking ass.
Loaded, yep.
Loaded.
We do kick ass.
You do kick ass, and you are the leader and the singer of that
How you
band.
doing, man?
And actually, the new album is more of a raw punk feel, correct?
It's heavier than anything we've done before, for sure. Yeah.
Now, we are here at the 7th annual Johnny Ramone tribute, and I want to know what kind of influence the Ramones had on you and what you feel is the importance of an event like this commemorating Johnny Ramone's birthday.
Well, I mean, Ramones for me were huge, of course. I don't wear the shirt just because for the event tonight. Yeah, I saw the Ramones first time. I would think I was probably about 13 in Seattle at the Showbox. I saw them probably another 12 or 13 times since 1979. Just everything about that band, how they kind of proved to me as a kid, especially then, music was really kind of convoluted, and for a young kid learning how to play, like it just seemed like way too much.
Yeah.
And the Ramones suddenly was like, oh, these are like, I can play that song, you know. From this event onto the event, I heard that, and I don't know if it's true or not, my wife told it to me on the car ride here, like this is Johnny had kind of planned this out, like he wanted to have, after he died, to have a yearly party at the Hollywood Cemetery. So I think it's great. You know, there's humor in that, and that's always a good thing. You know, you don't want to celebrate somebody's death, but if you're going to get together with fellow musicians and other knuckleheads and notaries, then this is a good place to do it.
Fantastic. Now, tell me about Loaded and how enjoyable the tour for this new album has been for you.
Tour's been great. We tour mostly in Europe and South America. It seems that the audience over there gets our band a bit more. So we're going back there in a few weeks, actually, to the UK and South America, and then back to Germany. So that's it.
Do you have any major collaborations in the near future musically?
Yes, myself and no, I don't. I don't. Nope. Not that I know of.
Now, I know you love The Damned, and
I do.
I don't know if you're aware that there is going to be a Damned documentary coming out.
I've heard rumor of such. Somebody might even contact me about it.
And you probably will, they'll probably ask you some questions. It's the same guys that made the Lemmy documentary.
I know this.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No, I'm psyched about that, for sure.
And Duff, besides your album, what is out there right now that really stirs your soul musically?
Oh, crap. Well, let's see. I was just in Europe and I saw a ton of bands. Red Fang, Killer. I saw them at Hellfest in France. Ghost. Ghost. Really cool. Like 70s rock, but they're like 29 years old and they wear masks, and it's just completely strange and new, but kind of genius. And I'm just going to tell you bands that I saw on tour that I really like. Down. I really love Down.
Did you hang out with Phil?
I did, yeah. Judas Priest were killer.
Yeah.
Really, really great. Lately, yeah, that's enough for now.
Duff, real quickly, do you ever hear, are there any of the female pop singers that are popular right now that like are Disney that you ever would hear and say that girl can sing, or are there any, do you like any of that kind of pop music?
Well, I have 2 daughters.
I know that.
Yeah.
See?
So I know all of it. What would you like to know?
Demi Lovato.
Well, okay, so because I do have 2 daughters, I can't go on camera and say that I actually like Demi Lovato, because you know why, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I can't really say that, especially since one of my daughters is somewhere right behind me. No, I think there's I've seen a lot of shows. Justin Bieber, I thought was great. He was one of the only shows I've seen in fatherdom that he actually sang, and he actually played, and the band played, and it was, yeah, it was cool. You know, I've seen a lot of the from Hillary Duff to Taylor Swift. I've seen, and Katy Perry and everything in between. I've seen it all.
There must be a certain, I think, there must be a certain magical moment for you to be able to share these experiences with your daughter, because this is such a bonding experience, and it's actually, let's admit it, it's fun.
It's fun. I mean, there's like my older daughter picks out music that's more kind of under the radar stuff, and even stuff that she's picked early on that kind of broke, like MGMT, and the kids find this stuff on the internet way before it's, you know, anywhere else. And so it's that part's interesting. Going to those big shows, it's not, I don't know if it's us sharing a musical moment. It's more that Dad can get some sweet tickets, you know. Great. Hey, Dad, will you take us to this gig? Really? Why didn't your mom take you? No, Dad, why don't you take us to the gig? It'd be much better. Yeah, so.
So did the daughters get to meet Justin Bieber?
Yes.
And what was that experience like?
It was sweet, you know, for me, for a dad. It was fun.
He in turn is a fan of yours. He must be.
You know a lot of stuff, don't you? Yes, you know, yeah. Yep, and then that impressed my daughter, and I told her, see, I got something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny being a dad of, you know, girls.
I just want to talk about a musician thing right now. Now, the bass that you played on the first Guns N' Roses record was a Fender Jazz Special, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, you're freaking me out how much stuff you know.
Well, yeah. Because that bass is when I had my own punk band for a while, and I wanted a bass tone that would cut through where you would just hear string. And what we did was we recorded it through a Mesa Boogie D180 guitar amp.
How did that go?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
One of these days I'll give you my tape or whatever. We had some great punk songs like Hitler's in Hell and et cetera, et cetera. But it was all bass because I wanted the bass really high in the mix. But it's just, that was, I think it was on the rhythm. Yeah, it was on the rhythm setting. And it's just, you hear the metallicness of the strings. Whereas a lot of basses, it sounds like there is a little bit of room around the strings instead of them being isolated.
Yeah, for me it just played really well, like the shape of the neck for me, and the two pickup combination. I would have it in the middle, and I just super glued the thing so it'd stay in the middle.
Sweet.
And the strings I used, the Rotosound strings, like I just saw, you know, bass players I knew of used Rotosounds. I was like, okay, I better, when I could save up enough money, I'd get those. And so I bought that first pair, and they lived on that bass for quite a few, probably half a year. And the amp, you know, the whole kind of thing. And
What amp did you use?
I used then for that record, I think it was a GK 800 RB head.
Okay, you like the Gallion Kruger amp.
Yeah.
Steve Jones. And you know, funny thing, you were in a band with Steve Jones called the Neurotic Outsiders.
That is correct.
And what was it like? This guy is he's a comic.
He's my hero. I mean, imagine coming where I came from and suddenly I'm playing, not bass, I'm playing rhythm guitar, and I learned to play guitar like from the guy. Yeah. Yes, and then Steve Jones, and then he was
Here he is.
idol, and he's.
What was John Taylor? I don't know if I asked you this, but what was it like working with John Taylor on that album?
He's a not really. He's a good guy.
What did you think of being a bass player yourself? But I know you started off on guitar. But being in a band with a bass player like John Taylor, what was the experience?
Yeah, no, I mean the whole thing was really good. You know, John, for the first time, really like playing a hard rock band, and him trying to figure it out. And he really wanted to play in this band, and we were all like these fellows like had gone through a lot of the same stuff, but really like when I grew up, I would play drums and bass and guitar. So the guitar I learned how to play, the style was Steve Jones, Johnny Thunders, and flash forward, all of a sudden I'm playing rhythm guitar in the band with the guy. I mean, I'm playing all his licks, really, and he's looking at me like, another one. Basically, it's probably boring to him, but and Matt Sorum, great. It was just a really, really good time. Always funny.
Jerry Harrison produced that record.
Yeah.
What did you learn from that experience with Jerry Harrison?
Well, I don't know. It was also sort of magical that time for me. I really I just come through a bunch of stuff in my life and landed on my feet, and this is like the first thing I did, and those guys taught me a lot about how I could go through life as this new guy. All of them taught me a lot of stuff, and so it was really a really fun, hilarious, as you can imagine, with Jonesy. And I learned a lot from Steve, just how to be a dude, a man, a guitar player, funny, not take myself so damn seriously. And John, just a true gentleman. But there's a great story. We played this gig in Hamburg, right? And sold out, packed, sweaty. And so Steve was in the middle. I was to the right of Steve, stage right, and John Taylor was stage left, right? And you could see right down the center of this club, it was kind of like the Mohawk guys, and then the guys on the jean vest wearing. Me and Steve's guys were kind of the same, And it's kind of really stunk on our side, especially halfway through the gig. It started really to smell like BO and wet, dirty hair and booze, and I went over to John's side of the stage at that very moment. It smelled his side of the stage was all chicks, good-looking chicks who smelled really good. And you went to his side of the stage and he's just over there playing his bass. He smells great over there.
The life of John Taylor.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, do you have your own signature bass now?
Yeah, it's that bass you were talking about.
Do you think it's comparable to the original?
It's better than the original because they just paid. The one I got, they only made for 1 year. It was made in Japan, and it was just kind of thrown out there. And we took that bass I have, the actual cut of the neck, everything, and they spun it on a computer, and then they used better wood and paid more attention to the wiring of the pickups and stuff. So it sounds like my bass, but just kind of a little fuller. Yeah.
Duff McKagan, one last question, then we'll let you go. You're a busy man. There's a band that's playing the LA club scene, which is kind of getting a lot of buzz right now, called the Barbed Wire Dolls. Have you heard of them?
No, but I have not been in town.
Okay.
Yes.
When you get a chance, check them out. I think you'd like it. It's a female singer, and they do pop punk.
Cool.
I think you'd
Okay.
like it. Duff.
Shameless plug for Barbed Wire Dolls.
I know.
Yeah.
Blaring Out with Eric Blair show with Duff McKagan. Signing off.
Right.
You're
Good job.
awesome. Thank
You're
you, bro.
awesome, man. You have a lot of information.
The Blaring Out Show.